Have you ever felt like you're navigating life on a completely different frequency than those around you? Perhaps it's the way others glance at you, or perhaps they avoid eye contact altogether. It's in their subtle remarks, the way they seem unsure of how to engage with you. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's simply that you don't fit into the molds they've constructed. Society is designed for uniformity. From thoughts to fashion to behavior, there's an unspoken expectation. Conform. Blend in. But when you choose not to follow the herd, when you cling to your beliefs and principles, it makes people uneasy. And that's when the signs begin to appear. The stares, the murmurs, the judgments. All because you choose a different path. In this video, we'll delve into 7 unusual signs that indicate you're not like everyone else. More importantly, we'll discuss how Islam not only prepares you for this, but also empowers you to embrace it. Because being different isn't just acceptable, it's essential. Number 1, detached from the materialism of the world. Look around. Many are engaged in a race they barely comprehend. They pursue wealth, luxury, and status, believing these will fill the void within. Designer labels, flashy vehicles, larger homes, it's never sufficient. Yet, here you are, feeling apart from it all. It's not that you don't value nice things, rather you see beyond the facade. As Muslims, we're constantly reminded that this dunya is fleeting. Allah mentions in the Quran, "Know that the life of this world is only play and amusement, pomp and mutual boasting among you." When you don't fixate on material possessions, people begin to notice. They might even label you as odd, as if your detachment signifies a lack of ambition. But in truth, it shows that your heart isn't bound to this world. You realize that true success isn't measured by accumulation, but by how well you prepare for the hereafter. Maintaining this perspective isn't easy. The world around us constantly idolizes materialism, making it seem like you're missing out if you're not keeping pace. However, the reality is, the more you distance yourself from this dunya, the more liberated you become. And that liberation? It's something most people fail to grasp. Number 2, acknowledging Allah's sovereignty over all. In this world, individuals often believe they hold the reins, thinking their authority, wealth, or influence can resolve any issue. Yet occasionally, Allah provides us with reminders of our true insignificance. Consider the catastrophic fires in America. Despite being a global powerhouse with cutting-edge technology and abundant resources, they stand powerless against this calamity. No amount of money, manpower, or strategy can prevent it if Allah decrees it. This scenario isn't solely about nature's might. It's a lesson for everyone. It illustrates that regardless of our attempts to control or manipulate our situations, the ultimate power rests with Allah. As stated in the Quran, when Allah intends something, He merely commands it to be, and it is. Embracing this truth transforms your perspective on life. You cease trying to control every aspect, and instead, place your trust in Allah. This doesn't imply neglecting hard work or effort. It signifies understanding that your efforts alone don't yield results. It's Allah's will that determines the outcome. However, not everyone perceives it this way. When you trust Allah and release the illusion of control, some might view you as careless or overly dependent on faith. In truth, they fail to see that submitting to Allah's will is not a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate strength. By trusting the one who governs everything, you free yourself from fear and doubt. The fire example isn't merely a tale, it's a lesson that no matter how powerful or competent we believe we are, there's only one who possesses true power. Recognizing this is what distinguishes you. Number 3, upholding truth in a world filled with deception. In today's society, standing by the truth often feels like an uphill struggle. We exist in an era where convenience frequently takes precedence over integrity. Individuals selectively adhere to Islam based on what suits their needs. When it's effortless, they are quick to display righteousness. However, when standing by the truth demands a sacrifice, whether it be comfort, relationships, or reputation, they hesitate. As Muslims, we are reminded that our dedication to Islam should not be conditional. It's not about pursuing what feels pleasurable. It's about pursuing what pleases Allah. Allah states in the Quran, "O you who have believed, stand firm for Allah as witnesses in justice, and do not let the animosity of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is closer to righteousness, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is aware of what you do." Consider this. How often do you witness individuals refraining from speaking up when they recognize something is wrong? They'll claim, "It's not my place," or "I don't want to get involved." But the reality is, silence in the face of injustice is complicity. And when you choose to stand for what is right, even when it's challenging, you're not only safeguarding your own integrity, but also setting an example for others. This doesn't imply that standing with the truth is easy. It might mean losing friends, facing criticism, or being misunderstood. But that's where the true test lies. The Prophet Muhammad encountered unimaginable resistance for standing with the truth, yet he never faltered. His life reminds us that truth isn't merely a value, it's a responsibility. When you stand with the truth, people will take notice. Some will admire your bravery, while others may resent it. But as long as your aim is to please Allah, the opinions of others become insignificant. Because ultimately, it's not about how comfortable your life is. It's about how steadfast your faith remains. Number 4, the challenge of being misunderstood. One of the most difficult aspects of remaining true to your principles is how others may misinterpret you. They might label you as arrogant, inflexible, or even judgmental. However, the reality is, it's not about you, it's about them. Your strength highlights their weaknesses. Your discipline underscores their lack of it. Instead of introspection, they project their discomfort onto you. This challenge is not new. Consider the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Despite being known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy, he faced mockery, insults, and accusations when he began to convey Allah's message. Why? Because his truth revealed their falsehoods. His integrity compelled them to face the lies they had built their lives upon. This is what occurs when you hold steadfast to your faith in a world that celebrates everything but it. Your unwillingness to compromise becomes a reflection for others, showing them what they lack. Instead of feeling disheartened, take this as a sign that you are on the right path. Allah says in the Quran, "And we made enemies for every prophet from among the wicked, but sufficient is your Lord as a guide and helper." The key is not to let their words define you. Remember, those who criticize you do not hold the pen that writes your destiny. Allah does. And if He is pleased with you, no amount of judgment from others can diminish your worth. In the face of misunderstandings, rise above, remain patient, remain kind, and remain steadfast in your principles. Because ultimately, it's not their opinions that matter, it's your standing with Allah. Number 5, having faith in Allah's plan. Life doesn't always unfold as we envision. There are times when everything seems unjust, when you've done everything correctly, yet things still go awry. In those moments, it's natural to wonder, why me? However, as Muslims, we are reminded that nothing occurs without a reason. Every challenge, every delay, every unanswered prayer is all part of Allah's design for you. Allah states in the Quran, "Perhaps you dislike something, and it is good for you. And perhaps you love something, and it is bad for you, and Allah knows, while you do not know." Consider this. A seed doesn't transform into a tree overnight. It is buried in darkness, concealed from the world, before it begins to grow. The same applies to us. Sometimes the hardships we encounter are Allah's way of preparing us for something greater. But the question is, do we trust Him enough to wait? This world tests our patience and faith in ways we don't always comprehend. When you trust Allah's timing, even when it seems illogical, you're demonstrating a level of faith that few achieve. While others may rush, panic, or take shortcuts, you choose to remain steadfast, knowing that what is destined for you will never pass you by. So, when life feels burdensome, remind yourself that Allah's plan is greater than anything you could envision. Trust Him, because the journey might be challenging, but the destination He is preparing for you is worth every step. 6. The challenge of remaining true in a changing world. We live in a world that is constantly evolving. Values, trends, and even what is deemed right and wrong seem to change overnight. Amidst this chaos, staying true to your principles can feel like walking against a storm. The pressure to conform, to follow the crowd, is relentless. But as Muslims, we are reminded that truth is unchanging. It is timeless, unaffected by trends or opinions. Allah says in the Quran, "And if you obey most of those on earth, they will lead you away from the path of Allah. They follow nothing but conjecture, and they do nothing but lie." This verse serves as a powerful reminder that the majority isn't always right. Just because everyone is doing something doesn't mean it is pleasing to Allah. And when you choose to stand firm in your faith, people might label you as outdated, too strict, or even extreme. But the truth is, their discomfort often stems from witnessing someone live a life they're too afraid to commit to. Reflect on the prophets. None of them were sent to conform. They were sent to challenge norms, speak the truth, and guide people back to Allah. Following in their footsteps means accepting that you won't always fit in. And that's okay, because the goal isn't to be accepted by the world, but to be accepted by Allah. So, when the world pulls you in one direction, hold tighter to your faith. Remind yourself that your path is guided by something far greater than public opinion. And remember, the storms of this world are temporary, but the rewards of staying true to Allah are eternal. Number 7, the ultimate reminder. This world is fleeting. At the core of every challenge, every misunderstanding, and every moment you feel out of place lies a simple truth. This world is not your final destination. It's temporary. Everything you experience here, whether joy or sorrow, is designed to test and prepare you for something far greater. Allah states in the Quran, "What is the life of this world but the enjoyment of illusion? This is why you feel the way you do, why the distractions of this dunya don't captivate you as they do others. It's not that you're missing out, it's that your soul recognizes something deeper. You weren't created for this world. You were created for Jannah. The trials you face here are only shaping you into someone worthy of it." But that doesn't mean the journey is easy. Staying focused on the hereafter while living in this world requires strength, patience, and faith. You'll encounter moments of doubt, days when you feel like giving up, and times when it seems like no one understands you. But in those moments, remember this: Allah does. He sees your struggles, hears your silent prayers, and knows the sacrifices you make to stay on His path. So when this world feels heavy, remind yourself that it's just a stop on the way to your real home, and every step you take closer to Allah is a step away from the noise, the distractions, and the emptiness of this dunya. Because in the end, what truly matters isn't what you had here, it's what you sent ahead for the hereafter. As we've journeyed through this discussion, one thing becomes clear: being different, standing out, and staying true to your faith are not burdens, they're blessings. Yes, the path isn't easy. Yes, it comes with struggles, misunderstandings, and sacrifices. But every step you take closer to Allah, every time you choose faith over convenience, you're building a legacy that will outlast this dunya. Take a moment now and make this dua. Ya Allah, grant me the strength to stay firm in my faith and the patience to overcome every challenge in this world. These words aren't just for you. They're for every believer who needs a reminder to hold on. Comment this dua below. Ya Allah, make me steadfast. Your comment could inspire someone else to trust Allah a little more. to remain patient a little longer, and to feel less alone on this journey. And before you leave, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps us continue spreading these reminders and reaching more hearts. Jazakallahu khair for being part of this mission, and may Allah bless you abundantly for every small effort you make in His path.